One of the most important parts of your fishing in terms of your tackle is your main line, and it's surprising how many people you see when they're fishing don't look after it. Now, between you and getting that fish in that landing net, the most important part, or one of the most important parts, is your main line. In this video, what we're going to show you is one, how to care for it, treat it, make it last longer, and then get over that dreaded line twist. Okay, line twist. Like I say, every angler's worst nightmare. You get to the lake, everything's sorted out, you go to cast out and your line fraps around your rings. Now, fluorocarbon is the worst one for this. We'll go through a little bit about that in a minute. But mainly the way that fluorocarbon is very wiry line, it suffers with line twist the most. Now, I use fluorocarbon for a lot of my fishing, so I'm constantly doing these little tricks to help reduce my line twist. Three of the worst factors for line twist: wrap sticks. Secondly is bait boats. If you go to France a lot or you use bait boat in the UK and you've just relining your line out, that can cause line twist as well. And quite often, and something I'm not very good at, is when you're playing a fish and you play off the clutch, and I do play off the clutch, if you backwind it creates less line twist, but if you do play fish off the clutch and you're catching a lot, that is another worst factor for line twist as well. So two different ways of getting rid of line twist. Firstly, we've got spin doctors. Invented by Mr. Gardner himself many years ago now, and these are still sold frequently within the UK, and the other way is to stretch your line out. So we're going to show you how to do this now. Right, so one of the best instant cures for line twist is definitely the old spin doctors. Now, we've had these in the Gardner range for years now, and Rick Gardner himself invented these. Basically what it is, it's a lead and it's got a groove cut out of it, so when you're reeling this back in, what it does, it actually puts the twist in the opposite direction. There's three available in the range. You've got the yellow, which is 40 grams, the red, which is what I use mainly, which is 70 grams, and you've got the white, which is 100 grams. So if you're going long distances, the white, medium distances red, short distances yellow. I've only been casting on this rod probably around 40-50 yards, so the way to do these is just attach them to your lead clip or whatever setup that you've got and do 3 casts only: a short, a medium and a long. And when I say long, that's basically going to be up to where you was casting at your maximum distance, around 50 yards that I have been on this rod. So what we're going to do now is attach this spin doctor. We're going to have 3 casts and get the line twist out of this line. Right, so as I said, I put the red spin doctor on. I'm going to do 3 casts, 1 short, 1 medium and 1 long, and that's just about enough to take the line twist out. You do it any more than that, you're going to start putting the twist the other way. So like I say, just general, stick to the rule of 3. Right, and as I'm reeling back, try not to lift the lead out of the water, because you want it in the water so it's turning in the opposite direction. Again, reeling in but not lifting the lead out of the water, because you want that to put the spin on the opposite direction. Right, so third cast now, a little bit further, roughly to where I was fishing. There we go, perfect. Reel that in, as I said, keep it under the water, and like I said, there is 3 different ones in the range, so you've got the yellow, red and white, all different weights for different situations. And now, oh, lift that up, and there you go. Yep, no spin on there, so that will take out all of your line spin. And now to the next bit, which is stretching your line out. Right, so we've used the spin doctors, we've done a few casts with those, got rid of the worst of the line twist. The second thing I like to do after that is pre-stretch my line. Now, if you're casting a long way, I've seen many a good angler actually stretch their line out before every cast, because they always want to make sure they get it on the button every single time. But what I do to stretch my line out is I get some ultra skin, I just create a large loop like so, put it on my quick change swivel or whatever setup you're using, and then basically I'm going to put that round a wrap stick, walk it back and stretch the line out. Right, so we've got the line around the wrap stick. For this video we can't go too far because we are filming, to be fair, but what you want to be doing is really 30-40 yards minimal. If you're going again extreme ranges, pace it out a long way. So what we do is around the wrap stick now, I'll just place a bit of tension on the line, walk that down a little bit, let's just stop that there. And then what you want to do is stretch it till you get to the point where you feel like the rod's almost going to go pinging out of your hand. Hold it back a little bit and then just give it a little bit of back and forth stretching like so. And what that does, it will take all the coil out of the line. So I'll hold that back again a little bit there, and that should be done and ready to cast. Right, line maintenance, really important one, this one. What I tend to do is the end of every single session, I reel in my lines, maybe put a heavier lead on and cast my lines out as far as I can get it. What this does is as you're reeling back in, it just lays the line nicely on your spool, so it casts nicely next time you're going for a chuck. Always check your line as well for any frays. If you're fishing in France or a snaggy area in England, just check for frays, because like I say, that fray or a kink in that can be the loss of a fish, and that's something that none of us want. In terms of cleaning your line, there's two ways of doing it. I either use a baby wipe or I use Fluoro Plus. Now Fluoro Plus, what you do is just drop 3 or 4 blobs onto a towel, pinch the line between the towel and your fingers and reeling in, and as well as it does, as the line's passing through, it'll clean all the debris off of your line and make it look nice and clean again. And again, the other thing with Fluoro Plus is as well, is if you're casting distance, it's like a lubricant, so you can place 3 or 4 spots on your line, that beds into your line, and as you're casting out, it lubricates the rings and gains you much more distance. But this can be used on fluorocarbon, monofilament and braid as well. So yeah, keep your line clean, have a rechuck at the end of every session, bed your line down nice and easy, nice and flat, and your line will look after you.